Hey peeps, it's Julian here from Tutoring, and as always, it's such a pleasure to join you. We're on question 2.2 from the 2017 IEB Maths Lit Paper 2 paper, and this question deals with data handling and working with different statistics. It says Mr. and Mrs. Naidu are researching the cost of education for Rajesh. They find some useful information in an old mutual website, some of which is found on AnyChB. Use AnyChB to answer the following questions. So if we go to that website, you can see they've given us some useful information, and particularly the average projected cost per year for educations to come. So they start off with the average for 2016, and they project this into the future up to 2034. So if we look at, and they do this for public primary or high school, private primary school, private high school, and university. And they have what the current cost is per category, and then they project into the future. So going on to 2.2.1, show that the projected percentage increase in the cost of private schools from 2016 to 2021 is approximately 54%. So if we go to here, we see that in 2016 to 2021, for private high schools, it goes from 114,000 to 176,000. So what we need to do to find a percentage increase is we need to find what the difference is, or how much it gained by, and then divide it by what it originally was and times it by 100. So for 2.2.1, so as I says, we need to find out how much the school fees gain, the private high school gained in the next 5 years. So we know that in 2021, it's going to be 76,000. So if we subtract then what it is currently in 2016, it's 114,000, and we divide by the 114,000 because this will give us our percentage gain. We then also need to multiply this by 100 to get it into a percent. So this is, in your calculators, this is going to equal 54.39%, which is rounded down to approximately 54%, which is what they've asked us to show, that it's approximately 54%. So that is how you do 2.2.1. So on to 2.2.2, they say the projected percentage increase for private high schools from 2029 to 2034 is also 54%. Explain why the projected percentage increase is not the same from 2021 to 2029. So as you can see, from 2029 to 2034, they say it's 54% increase for high school. But you can see from 2021 to 2029, this is not the case. And it is because they've used a different scale. So or a different increase in years. So from 2016 to 2021, we added 5 years. But from 2021 to 2029, there's actually 8 years here. And from 2029 to 2034, there's again 5 years. So the answer here for 2.2.2 is that the number of years between 2021 to 2029 is different. So we can illustrate this by showing that, so as I said, 2016 to 2021 is 5 years. From 2029 to 2034, it's also 5 years. But from 2021 to 2009, it is 8 years. So this is why the increase is not 54% as well. Next question. Mr. and Mrs. Naidu know that the costs do not remain the same every year, but are keen to get an estimate of their son's education and what it might cost them. Rajesh started grade 1 in 2016. He's currently in a public school and will remain there until grade 7. So his primary school years will be in a public school. His parents then want to send him to a private high school. That's from grade 8 to matric. They are hoping he then studies further at a university, assume that he passes every grade and studies for 3 years at university. So using the graph, we now need to calculate the estimated cost that Rajesh's parents can expect to pay for his education. So we'll need for this question, break it up into what years he is at what school and how much it will cost during those years. So we can use this graph to figure this out. So we know from grade 1, he's in 2016. So the prices change when it turns to 2021. So we'll know that he will be paying, or his parents will be paying, 29,000 Rand a year from 2016 to the end of 2020. So we'll break these down, as I said, into smaller sums. So 2.2.3, as I said, from the years 2016 to the end of 2020, he will be at a public primary school, and this means he'll be there for 5 years in this period, because 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20, that's 5 years, times by, the graph says it's 29,000 Rand for those years, and putting this into your calculator, this is going to come to a total of 145,000 Rand. We then need to do the same for the next 2 years, because grade 6 and 7 will still be in this public school at 45,000 Rand. So from 2021 to 2022, so that's the next set of years. So from 2021 up until 2022, you'll still be in a public school for 2 years at a cost of 45,000 Rand, and this in your calculators equals 90,000 Rand. Then the year after this, Rajesh is going to move on to high school, and as the statement says, his parents want to send him to a private school for high school. So from 2023 onwards, so from 2023 up until, this is for 5 years, so it'll be then 2027, because it's 2023, 4, 5, 6, 7, that's 5 years. That's his whole high school career. will be 5 times. Now we need to go back to our graph, and we know that private schooling in the period between 2021 to 2029 is 176,000 Rand. So it's times 176,000 Rand. And in your calculator, this comes to a total of 880,000 Rand. And then in the period after that is university. And we know, so you'll be in university from 2028 up until 2030, but remember the price changes in that period, so we only need to get the data for the 2028 year, because 2029 it changes again. So if we look at university in this period, it's going to cost 77,000. So just for that 1 year, 2028, it's going to be 1 times the 77,000, and this is going to equal obviously the same, so 77,000. And then finally he's going to spend 2 years in that last time bracket, so from 2029 to 2030. This means it's going to be 2 years, and his parents will be paying in those 2 years 154,000 Rand per year. So it's going to be 2 times 154,000. So this is going to equal 308,000 Rand. So this is the cost breakdown in the different periods of Rajesh's schooling career. So now we need to add all of these together. I'm just going to do it here. So put all of these in your calculator to get a total of, so it's this 145,000 plus the 90,000 plus the 880,000 plus the 77,000 plus the 308,000, and in your calculator it comes to 1,500,000, and the units here is rands, so I'll put the R there, so it's 1,500,000. Just going to write that a bit better. So to conclude, it is rands, and it's the 1,500,000. And that's your final answer. Before I go, I'd just like to give a special thank you to our epic sponsor for making this video possible. Read all about them in the description below. Be sure to visit our website for more of these epic tutorial videos. And remember, if you can't find the answer to your question, you can always send us your question and we'll respond with a personalized video just for you. And until next time, stay epic.